Okay, so I know many of you were kind of asking where we might use a move command, and I know a couple of you wanted to kind of hear it from me. So I'm probably going to have an opportunity to move, and maybe I can do the mast move a little bit later. But this is obviously just our traffic light, and if you look, it's running off this single timer. There's no other timers here. And what it's doing is it's just turning these lights on at specific times related to this timer. So for instance, we'll look, and this left green here is on any time that timer is in between 220 and 340. And we'll wait for that to come back. We'll wait for left green to come on, and we'll watch it come on here, and we'll see it come on here as well. So we'll just give it just a few minutes. We've got to wait from 100 to that gets to 220. We'll see this come on. We'll also see it on our output up here. So coming soon, there it is. It's on. So if I'm wanting to cross this sidewalk here, to cross here, I want this green to go away so the drivers will will stop instead of going through the light. So they need to see a yellow light in order to slow down, and then eventually a red light for me to cross. So what I can do is I can create a piece of code that says when I push this button, let's move a new accumulated value into this timer. Well, we know it's green between 220 and 340. And if we look down at the left yellow, which is what we really need to happen, we want it to begin at 340. So what we can do basically is we can say, when we press this button, let's change this timer to be at 340 so that we can cross faster. Because if it's just at 225, we've got to wait from 225 to 340 for it to be able to cross. But if it's at 225 and we suddenly change that to 340, then we can cross very soon after it goes through the yellow to red cycle. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to go to program mode, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to add this code. And we're going to say when we press this button, we want to move. So that's going to be in our move logical. We want to move the value of 340 to where? T4:0.ACC, to the accumulated value. So we're going to download this, and we're going to watch it. So obviously we're red, and we're going to wait for this guy to become green. And we'll see he becomes green at 220, and he'll be green from 220 to 340. Now I want you to watch this timer's value. So now we're green, but we're having to count all the way to 340, but I'm ready to cross the road. So I'm going to click it, and notice that timer jumped. And when it did, it changed it to yellow immediately after my pressing the button. Now there's a problem with what we've got in the code. It works well when this light is green, but the problem is, and I'll show you in just a moment, is when I press this button, it resets the timer, and that would freak traffic out, I promise you, if we kept doing that, because it would keep changing the status. So we would have to add some code down here that says we only want this instruction to be true if that timer were between 220 and 340, and that would keep that from happening. But that's where a move command comes in handy, is when this guy's green and we're ready to cross, and you can see we're still at 250, 260, but as soon as I press that button, boom, 340. And that worked well, and it's made these guys have to stop shorter. Of course, hopefully there will be no traffic coming anyway, but if not, then we can press this button and speed up the timer, make it jump from whatever value it's at to a value greater than that, simply by using a move command and taking the value of 340 and moving it in to our timer, which changes the behavior of our signal. So there we're at.